All right, we are back. It is the Free for All After Party podcast. Got to come up with. Do we have a theme?
We don't have music yet.
We don't.
Well, that'll be the next step. There are levels to this.
Bum 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 bum.
It needs to be a remix, though, since it's the after party. We're supposed to be having more fun than we would normally.
Yeah, that's the.
By the way, Mike makes those noises all the time. No, it's not. He's doing it to be funny. He doesn't actually make.
Right.
He's not actually, breaking
the
wind.
Home audience. Producer Landry and I will sometimes at the most inappropriate
I think they forget
moments.
that I'm a lady in their presence. It's almost as if.
Yeah. All right. I guess we start Cowboys, or do you want to start Mavs since it was media day?
Yeah, let's switch it up a little bit.
I got to tell you, folks, Sam Gannon's. I've never seen her more excited about covering a story than Mavericks media day. I think the NBA is your favorite sport. It's fair to say that. I mean, you love the NFL too.
No, I mean I love all of the teams. Love covering all the teams here, but the NBA is special to me. Where you have Luka, Kyrie, and now Klay. It's hard not to be excited about this team, and what a fun playoff run it was.
Klay still can't leave me open. Thompson, welcome to Dallas.
Thank you. That's a good nickname.
How does it feel to be here?
Yeah.
What have the vibes been like?
Vibe's been high. I mean, it's been awesome. Like, just to have the chance to get to know a whole new city, organization, chance to win. And it's been really special, to be honest, and I'm so excited to see what the future holds.
You know, you said in your introductory press conference that a change of scenery can do wonders for people. And, you know, you had an unbelievable run with the Warriors, 13 years, 4 championships. Why, ultimately, did you feel like this organization would be the right change of scenery?
I thought having the chance to win in my 14th season and beyond is like something that I could only have dreamt of, especially as a rookie. And they were so close last year, and I feel like my style of play complements our 2 superstars so well, and our rest of our complementary guys like myself. And that's what really attracted me here, was the chance to win, and like I could feel how close the team is, and that's why I'm here now, is just to try and help us get over the hump.
Like you said, you watched their playoff run. It was evident when they played the Celtics in the finals that the Mavs lacked some depth compared to Boston. You know, you feel like you're the type of player that, like you said, can just take them over the top?
I think I could definitely help. You know, I think I can help alleviate the pressures that Luka and Kai go through on a nightly basis, because every defense is geared up to stop them. And my game fits theirs very well as far as spacing the floor.
Yeah.
Being able to hit open shots. And I cannot wait. I'm so excited. Yeah, like I said, the chance to win again is like, that's why I'm here.
Is it nice to have Luka and Kyrie on your side and not to have to face them on the opposing side?
It's really nice to have some reinforcements, and it doesn't really get better than that. Doesn't get much better than those two. So
yeah, just to be able to play alongside Luka, Kyrie. You know, there's a lot of people when Kyrie came here that thought that partnership wasn't going to work.
Really?
And it's clear that, you know, they needed a full season under their belt, but to play with those 2 caliber players and you having a championship pedigree, I mean, you think you guys will be able to make some magic happen?
No question. Absolutely. And yeah, I've been on the receiving end of Kyrie's buckets on many occasions. Luka's as well, so it's nice to be on their side for once, and I'm just really excited to try and help them win, the city win, my teammates. It's what basketball's about. It's a team sport, and every one of us has to make sacrifices to win.
I know you had said you look forward to being rejuvenated and that there's plenty of good basketball left in the tank for you. What does rejuvenated look like for you on the basketball court?
Hopefully a lot of smiles, not a lot of splashes of the net, a lot of defensive stops, and on top of all that, just having fun. I mean, winning's fun. hitting shots is fun. Getting defensive stops is fun, and setting up your teammates is probably the most fun. So I'm so excited to just feel like I have a whole new chapter ahead of me, and a lot to prove, you know.
Have you, Luke, and Kyrie had a chance to break bread or have dinner together yet or anything like that?
Not really, but we played pickup the last few days.
Yep.
It's been fun to play on their team and work out that chemistry. These guys are such special players that it's fun to, when you're around greatness, you elevate your game. So it's been fun to feel that just being in their presence.
The headband, is it here to stay now?
Yeah.
Rocking it?
Absolutely here to stay. Jason Terry, who wore number 31, was rocking the headband, and he won a championship in this same number, so I'm trying to emulate that.
You're an outdoorsy guy. People that know you well, you love the ocean, bodies of water. I know Dallas isn't like the West Coast or Pacific, but we have some lakes and things like that.
Yeah, that's good enough.
You're going to get out on the lake or something?
I'll get on the lake.
Okay.
I got a 15-foot whaler, so I could trailer her to a lake somewhere and put a couple fishing lines in the water.
You'll be right at home?
Yeah, that's the beauty of fishing game. You can take it anywhere.
I saw a funny clip of you and Derek Lively. You were at an Aces Liberty game, and Steph was there kind of being like, you know, you're on another team now. I know that was probably bittersweet for you. You guys are forever brothers, but how supportive was he in your next chapter and, like you said, just getting to have a brand new slate with a different organization?
No, he was supportive. He just wanted me to do what makes me happy. And experiencing a different part of the world, especially as a basketball player, was really attractive to me. And just deep down, I feel like I needed a change, and I landed in Dallas, and it's very exciting.
Last question for you. Have you thought about what the season opener is going to be like, where for the first time in your career now you're going to be with a different team? Have you thought about that, and, you know, the embrace you'll receive from
I thought about it. I thought about the preseason game next week. Like, I'm just excited to play the preseason because I want to get the nerves out. I want to get used to my teammates, and it's incredibly exciting. Yeah, opening night is going to be very special this season.
Just to tell people how it works at Media Day, they have it at the Mavericks practice facility this year. They'll have one room set up with a press conference table up front. So Kidd comes in there and the main players. But then off in little side areas, they have one-on-one conversations. So you had a chance to talk to Klay, Klay Thompson, now a Dallas Maverick. I thought it was really impressive, just the way he presents himself. You can tell he's a really thoughtful guy. He's obviously knows how to deal with the media, having been in such a high-profile situation with Golden State for all those years. So from a personal standpoint, it was impressive. With him, I think it's just, can he stay healthy enough to help this team from beginning to end this year? He'll make a huge difference if he can.
Yeah, and for those that may not know, they're fielding the same questions
Right.
from dozens of reporters on media days, and I know it's part of their job, right? Like, this is, you know, they get paid millions of dollars, and part of their responsibility is to answer questions from us. But I did appreciate, I'm sure he's heard my questions about 20 times before we even got to our interview, but I appreciated him answering it as if it was the first time he's been asked the question. And his eyes just lit up when talking about Dallas. And I thought it was really interesting how when Kyrie was asked yesterday about his pull and influence in having Klay come here, Kyrie spoke so highly of the organization and that they really make you feel at home, like the community. He referenced Southern hospitality and how the organization really protects you.
And yeah, that's what I was going to say. I thought that was an interesting way to phrase it, how the organization protects you. And I'm not exactly sure what he meant by that, other than maybe running interference for you in certain situations. Frankly, maybe in the way they shield you from the media sometimes.
You think it was a dig at the Nets?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I think it probably
because he was like, you know, not every NBA organization is the same, and he made sure Kyrie did to say that. And
I think it's a combination of Kidd and the way he interacts with his players, Mark Cuban and the kind of respect they have for him, and Cynthia Marshall, who a lot of fans aren't really that familiar with, but I forget what her exact title is right now. Is she CEO? Yeah, she is Mav's CEO. But and the relationship she has with the players as well. So just again, peek behind the curtain. Sam interviewed, let's see, Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving,
Wait a second.
and Klay Thompson, and I had a chance to interview Spencer Dinwiddie, so that was fun too. And he was he was really good as well. But you know, Sam gets the three huge superstars.
So Mike did an interview.
Oh, no.
So 2 years ago at Mavs Media Days, I was like, Mike, you need to sit down with Luka, okay? And you know, he was a little short answered, so he passed Luka off to me.
It was literally like a 90-second interview, and I asked 15 questions. And I mean, Luka's kind of that way. He's still not super comfortable with his English, which frankly is better than most Americans' English.
He speaks like 5 languages.
Really smart guy, and we can talk a little more about his attitude, what it appears to be coming into this year, and how encouraging that should be for Mavs fans. But Sam gave it her best shot, and we're airing that interview on Tuesday night on Free for All. But Kyrie's a great talker. Kyrie loves him some talking.
No, and Kyrie was great. Kyrie was great. He really was. Yeah. And I don't say that to be like, I'm serious. He was such a great interview. It was a learning lesson for him, I think, too. And he's more motivated knowing how they lost in the finals, and also understanding that he didn't play to the level that he wanted to, but also understanding that there are a lot of young guys on this team that went through their first ever finals appearance, including Luka. And that's one of the things that Luka noted is like, yeah, like losing in the finals in that way, that will motivate you. And, you know, we talked to Dirk not too long ago, and he talked about that too. So, you know, this is going to be a really good team. They're also a much different team than they were at the end of the finals.
Yeah, and to be fair, Dinwiddie's a great talker too. I really enjoyed talking to him.
Yeah, what was one? I wanted to ask you about that.
He's back, of course, for his second time with the Mavs, and it was kind of weird after he left, and he made some comment about why he chose the Lakers over the Mavs, and implying that the Mavericks were kind of, I don't know, lacked aggressiveness or something. And he answered that question. You know, you could tell almost a little embarrassed that he had said that back then.
His fans have been salty about it since he's come back.
Because I think he's a really thoughtful, smart guy as well. One thing that was interesting is, even though he wasn't playing for the Mavs at the time, he bought a house in Frisco. That's where he wanted his family to live.
Oh, did he?
Even though he didn't know where he was going to be playing. And so he said it is kind of like coming back home. And he'll be an important part of this puzzle, easy for me to say, as kind of a utility guy, right? And then that backcourt, and he had some big moments for the Mavericks
2 years ago,
the first time around. I think what I took from that media day as much as anything was Kidd's opening statement, where he essentially said, yeah, we expect to win the championship. In other words, anything short of that is a disappointment. I love that, because so many coaches want to play it safe and couch it and say, well, this is a different year, and you know, it's really hard to get to the finals and blah blah blah. Kidd's tired of saying that. I think, you know, he wants to get there, and he wants to win it all. And it's interesting to come into a season again. It's been a while where the Mavs are one of the preseason favorites, right? The West is kind of wide open.
Kind of wide open. You know, talking to some people within the Mavs too, you know, they were talking about Oklahoma City and how they're also going to be back and really good. They made a lot of good off-season moves.
I mean, Denver's still Denver.
Denver's still Denver. Yeah. And I think health, as we know, plays a big part in it, right? But I think for the Mavs, one of the things that they need to try to do is to get a top 4 seed. Make sure you get home court advantage. I think that makes such a difference in the postseason. And there were times last year where they let their foot off the gas. There were also injuries, that kind of thing. But I think they need to put together an even better overall regular season so they position themselves better to have home court in the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. I think, number one, I can't believe it's already time to be talking about basketball.
I know.
It's crazy, but when you make that deep a run, this is how it feels, right?
Yeah.
Suddenly you wake up and they're playing again, and the Stars start their regular season Thursday next week. So it's a fantastic time of the year. It really is my favorite time of the year in sports.
When everything collides.
Everything comes together. Even though the Rangers aren't in the playoffs this year, the baseball playoffs are so much fun after a long baseball season. But football still kind of rules the roost, and the Cowboys got that Thursday night win over the Giants, came at a huge cost with 2 key injuries. But first, just a quick word on the game itself. We talked about this on TV the other night. I can't remember a time where people were less excited about a Cowboy win. And we disagreed last week on the podcast. You said if they play kind of so-so but win the game, it's not going to change the way you feel about the team. And I said, no, you take any win you can get in the division on the road, and that's what they got. So I think you feel good about getting a win and you look ahead. But we're probably both a little bit right. We didn't really learn anything about the team.
Yeah.
We learned that they still have some things to prove, namely, can they beat a good team?
And I'm not trying to be a cynic. You know, I think this is so funny for people that don't realize that I did grow up a Cowboys fan with my father.
Your dad,
I did. But you also have to realize, too, I'm someone, too, I'm also going to call it how I see it. And I don't think we learned anything about the team on Thursday night against the Giants. I don't. And to me, a statement could be made for this Pittsburgh game for sure. But to me, I know, and you're right on one hand. Yes, you have to take care of your division games. That goes without saying. But all of those same issues remain. And now you couple it with the fact of these 2 key injuries on defense. I know Mike McCarthy, I think, said Deron Bland and Kalen Carson, he expects them to start practicing soon, so that will be good eventually to get Deron Bland back. But do you feel good about this team right now?
No, it's tough with Lawrence. And Micah is going to be back, I think, fairly soon, although
Yes.
I have a feeling he'll be out through the bye. I mean, he'll miss a couple of games. Lawrence is going to miss at least 4 weeks because he's on IR, and probably more like 8 weeks. I don't know. Something tells me, and this is just a hunch, which is probably misguided, that Zimmer's going to figure out a way to make this thing work, to stop the bleeding from getting totally out of hand, even with these guys out. But obviously, they're two of their top 3 defensive players.
Wait, I got to mention something too. So Micah Parsons, as we know, he has his own podcast called The Edge with Micah Parsons, and we listened to it, at least the beginning part of it, and he says, they're lucky. They thought the injury was going to be worse, so he's glad he's going to be back soon, all these things. But he had a special guest on, and this got some traction on social media. He had Darius Slay of the Eagles on, and now really you're going to have Darius Slay on? I understand that these guys have their own platform. You can have whoever you want on your show. But coming off the game that you just had, this is your division rival. Can we wait a little? Can we wait till the season is over before we start having a banter back and forth with, one of the star players from our, division rival? I don't know. That's just my opinion.
This is interesting because usually I would be the one saying that and you would be the one
right.
defending the player. And I don't know why this doesn't really bother me that much.
It doesn't bother you.
I think I'm just used to it with Micah. It's just the way he is. I don't love everything about the way Micah Parsons goes about his business. I don't like him blaming other teammates. But the fact is, I think the guy is just hyper competitive. He's an incredible, you're not saying that he's not.
I'm a huge fan of
Micah.
I think he's
But
great.
I just think it's just a byproduct of
times.
where we are right now. And he's defended just doing the podcast in general, right? People wondering if that's too much of a distraction. He's like, it's my day off. I do it on Tuesday.
And he's right.
And believe
he's
me,
right.
we've had players around here who've done a lot worse things on their days off.
Just a nice little podcast in the basement of his probably very big house.
Little kids running around there or whatever. But Parsons, it's a little jarring to see him in that boot as he heals from that high ankle sprain. But no, the podcast thing is
fans felt some type of way.
It's a fun little talker. I think, and we're not going to give our picks right now, I'm leaning toward picking Dallas in this game. I think this offense is due to score some touchdowns. I think they've knocked on the door. They've had drives that have been pretty productive, other than, oh, by the way, ending in touchdowns. And I think even though Pittsburgh can rush the quarterback a little bit, I think the Cowboys may be able to move the ball against the Steelers. And while the Cowboys have defensive injuries, the Steelers have injuries on their offensive line. I still think Justin Fields is going to remember who he is at some point, maybe. But I think Dallas could get out of there with a win. We'll have our official picks later in the week.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm feeling as confident. I know we'll have our picks too. To me, this is another statement week for them. Can you go on the road back-to-back weeks now and come out of there with a W against a fairly good team? They've lost one game, and Steelers lost last week, so they're going to be motivated. And, they know the way Dallas has played and how they looked last week against the Giants. So again, there's always something week to week, and
You're going to this game.
I am. I
Have you
forgot
been
for
to
a
Pittsburgh
second. I
before?
have never been to Pittsburgh. Yeah, so I will be there. And no, I've never been to Pittsburgh. One of our editor friends here, Jakob, he's from Pittsburgh, as is head coach Mike McCarthy. He's a Pittsburgh man.
Homecoming for Coach McCarthy. I'm glad you're going to be able to go because I don't think in the NFL there are that many unique home field environments and fan bases. It's not like college football, obviously. There are a handful. Green Bay, obviously. I think Kansas City has become that.
That was cool, yeah.
I think underrated in that regard is Denver. That's a great home crowd. There are others that are probably obvious that I'm forgetting. But I think Pittsburgh is that way because that's still a hardcore
fan base,
black and blue, blue collar fan base that really gets after it. And on a Sunday night, they will have had all day to prepare. So it'll be good.
And this is the first time the Cowboys are playing there since Dak and Zeke's rookie year. They haven't played there since 2016, I believe.
Just to go back down memory lane, the first Cowboy game I covered was a Cowboys game at Pittsburgh in 1994.
Where's the video of that?
Yeah, we need to find that. But I remember doing the live shots. We stayed there and did our Sunday night show. And Jakob would know where this is. I can't remember the name of it. It's like an iconic bluff outside the city. So we had this beautiful view of the valley and the city behind us. The Cowboys won that game. I meant to look up the score. It was like 26-17. It wasn't a real high-scoring game. But Dallas went on to play in the NFC Championship game that year and lose to the Niners. And then the year after that, they went back and won the Super Bowl for the third time in 4 years. But that was it was a long time ago, Sam.
That was 1994.
We were a CBS station in 94, and Switzer's coaching debut and all that stuff. The memories come flooding back. But anyway, you're going to enjoy that trip. I hope the weather's good that night for you.
I'm not saying the season is lost, but this is a tough stretch ahead, and the Cowboys have to show that they're better than just getting by, if that makes sense. They have to show that they can put together a complete game on both sides, and they have yet to do that.
I think somewhat of a saving grace for the Cowboys right now is the fact that the NFC, there's only one unbeaten team.
Yeah, the NFC looks wide open right now.
Packers are 2-2, Niners are 2-2,
Eagles are 2-2,
Eagles are 2-2.
Commanders.
Washington looks good. Detroit looks good.
Yeah.
That Detroit team that comes in the week after next. So maybe things are a little more wide open than we thought they would be. Can I share something that's happening in my life and the life of my family?
Yes, tell us.
Talked about it a little bit last week, or teased it, if you will. But our daughter Christina and her husband TJ welcomed a new baby into the world.
Yay.
A week ago Monday. Harrison Michael was born early that Monday afternoon.
My foot on your
foot.
That's
all right. And it's not that emotional. Come on, calm down. But he's happy and healthy.
He's
big
such a
guy,
beautiful
a little over 8 pounds. But I swear to God, and I'm not just saying this because he's my grandson, he's the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life.
No,
he really is.
Cute.
No offense to my daughters, who they were cute and everything in their ward, but this little guy, it's really a joy and a blessing.
Does it make you feel different? Like, does it make you
kind of does. When I'm around him, it definitely does.
What does it make you feel like?
You hear this from people who become grandparents. There's just kind of a unique kind of warmth and love that you feel.
Yeah.
That it's hard to explain. Yeah, that's part of it.
Or fun.
But you're just so proud, of your kiddo for having gone through all this, and you know what a great mom she's going to be, and what a great dad her hubby's going to be, and then this little guy comes into the world with all this love and stuff. So it was a great week, and I posted something on social media, so it's really cool the kind of responses we got.
So are you grandpa?
I think so.
Okay.
That's kind of been the way in our family, and it amazes me how many people want to find that out.
Yeah,
I didn't
a
know
lot of
that was
people-
such a
lot
thing.
of people that we were.
So you Papa, you Tutu, you Bobo, and you know what
I like Gramps.
Gramps. Yeah.
I just like Gramps.
But I think for right now, it's just Grandpa and Grandma. So that's the way it was for us.
The other interesting thing that I wanted to talk about too. So your daughter, Christina, the one that just had the beautiful baby boy, they also have a dog, Birdie, in their house.
Right.
And you've been taking care of Birdie a lot. He's like a mix between, he has some
Now,
lab in him, right?
Chris and TJ haven't gotten any sleep because of the baby. Ruth and I haven't gotten any
Because
sleep
of the
because
dog.
of Birdie. Yeah. Birdie is a Black Lab Grand Pyrenees mix.
Oh, so high energy.
Big dog. And the lab puppy part of her gives her a lot of energy. She's only 9-10 months old. So she's a puppy in a full-grown dog's body. You know, she weighs 75 pounds probably. Extremely rangy, long limbs. Still has some of the puppy habits you hope she outgrows, like the playful biting. You look at the back of my hand and my arm. Looks like I've been walking through a barbed wire fence. And so we've had some interesting early morning walks around the neighborhood. I try to get her out, or Ruth does, before there's much traffic, like foot traffic out there. Because if it's another dog, it's all over
for you.
But she's kind of, you know, she's been with us now for the better part, I guess, a week now. And I just noticed she's getting a little more relaxed around the house, a little more comfortable.
So there's kind of a whole dynamic
there's
there.
Uneasy partnership there, or ceasefire, if you will. But I think we'll be spending a little more time with the bird at our place.
And if
Let's put
there's
it that way.
anyone out there that knows a pristine Dallas trainer, Mike just got Birdie a new harness, shall we say? So, and just anyone has any, leads on a good Dallas trainer, just shoot the recommendations Mike's way.
The kids used a trainer early on in Birdie's life, and it laid a good foundation, but a little refresher course might be a good idea.
Dogs are a big responsibility.
And you miss your dog, I know.
I have a black lab at home back with my parents. I still say it's my dog too, but it's not really. I love him. He's a black lab, Benny. I'll watch my friends' dogs from time to time, and I have a good time with that. But it also, I'm like, it was fun, but now I'm going to give you back to mom and dad, because it's a huge responsibility. And I'm such a dog person, but my thing is I never want the dog to feel neglected. And the way our day-to-days are, they're always different. But we love doggies. They make the day better.
Well, have a good trip to Pittsburgh.
Thank you, Deuce.
We'll have our official picks Thursday night on
Yes.
Free For All. We're on every night at 10:30 and Sunday nights at 10. Take care, everybody. See ya.